What's good, y'all? Desaiah here, and today we're going to talk about something that might be a little familiar to you. You might have heard it before. It's the concept of being alone. Because I know some people might think, I'm alone all the time, that's nothing new. Others might feel like being alone is a foreign concept. And today I wanted to break it down because there's different levels to being alone. There's a difference between being alone and truly being alone. Some of you might think, bro, these sound exactly the same, but just hear me out for a second, because there's a difference between being physically alone, like choosing solitude, versus feeling emotionally or spiritually alone, even when you have people around you. You can have a small net group of people around you and still feel isolated. This is honestly something that I've been experiencing recently. It's not that I don't have friends or family around me. I just believe that in this season of my life, God wants me to open my eyes and focus on the relationships that I might have taken for granted, whether that's family or friends, instead of chasing romantic relationships or external relationships. A lot of us go through lonely seasons and don't even realize how surrounded we are until we take a step back, and it's like looking at the glass half full or half empty. It really all depends on your perspective. If you haven't been in a relationship for a long time, like 1, 2 to 3 years, and you've had time to reflect, you might understand what I'm talking about with the value of solitude. Some people claim they love being alone, yet haven't gone through a month without being in a relationship. Sometimes it really does take true solitude to rediscover yourself. I'm not saying that you have to cut everybody off in your life, delete social media, delete everybody and never talk to people again, even smash your phone if you want to. You just have to sit down and ask yourself, what kind of people do I want in my life? This is not just me spewing random facts. In 2021, a study in the Journal of Adolescence, spending time alone can increase self-awareness, promote personal growth, and improve emotional regulation when it's done internally. Have you ever heard of the fact that you are a product of your environment? It's facts. If you're always around toxic people, gossipers, or people that complain all the time, that's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect who you are as a person. You eventually will succumb to being more toxic or a gossiper or a complainer if that's who you're around all the time. If you're around motivated, positive people, if you're around millionaires, billionaires, eventually all of that is going to rub off on you. According to psychologist Dr. David McLean of Harvard, your reference group, the people you habitually associate with, that determines 95% of your success or failure in life. That's a big number, is it not? So if you want peace, success, and growth, maybe start surrounding yourself with people who already are walking that path, or are trying to also find that path as well, right? There's a power in waking up early. And I don't mean, having more time in the day, etc. I mean, it really makes you reflect on who you are as a person, because waking up at 6 a.m. taught me how few people actually get up and grind early, and how many of those people I used to hang out with were actually draining my energy because they weren't waking up at the same time as me. I know you guys have heard of people like Ashton Hall and other motivational speakers who speak about this, because they're 100% right. If you wake up at 6 a.m., you can't spend all your time around people who wake up at 10 or at noon. They might not be on the same path, and that's okay. And I'm not saying that you can't be around those people if you decide to wake up early. You can't try to build your life around people who don't share your mindset, because they will only pull you down. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. Be intentional about who's in your circle. When we talked about Ashton Hall and all of those people, they say this a lot. If you wake up at 5, 6, 3 a.m., whatever it is, you can't surround yourself around 12 p.m. people. And I'm going to leave that part of it right there. Just think about that. If you're a 6 a.m. person, you can't surround yourself around 12 p.m. people. Think about it. Let's be clear about something real quick. Being lonely doesn't mean you don't have anyone around. It just means that you're learning to be comfortable with your own presence. Because some people can't go more than 2 hours without needing to call somebody or text somebody or have a hangout or meetup. They can't sit in silence. But being able to sit with your own thoughts, your own emotions, and your own company, that's truly what loneliness really is. It's not about, oh, I'm lonely, I have nobody to talk to. It's about, can you go more than 2 hours with your own thoughts, your own company, and still enjoy life? Can you play a video game solo and still enjoy it? And by a video game, I don't mean Tomb Raider or any of those games. I mean a multiplayer game like Call of Duty, Apex. Can you play it solo and still enjoy it without the need of your friends being there? Or do you feel empty without that multiplayer aspect? There is something that I have started doing more recently, and it's going places by myself. Going places by yourself really makes you break out of your comfort zone if you're not one of those type of people who like to go places by yourself. Go to the movies alone. Work on projects solo. They're not just personal opinions that I'm spewing to you right now. Research in psychology shows that people who engage in solo activities like traveling or dining alone can build a greater confidence and emotional independence over time. Personally, I have to do this more often, but I've started going to watch movies by myself. And that was a big fear of mine, going into a theater and worrying about feeling judged or being awkward. But I did it. And I realized it's all in my head. Nobody cares that I'm at that movie theater by myself. They got their own things to worry about, and they're not worried about me. I recently went to the Kendrick Lamar concert, and as you guys see, I didn't end up going to that concert solo, but I had a situation in which I planned to go alone, and I was ready to go alone. And that feeling of peace where I realized I like Kendrick Lamar, I like SZA. I'm going to go to this by myself, whether somebody's with me or somebody's not. And that feeling right there told me that I'm growing up as a person. We're going to talk spiritually because I watched a sermon by Pastor Keon. I love watching his sermons and I want to see one of them live one day. But to sum it up, he basically talked about how God gives you your own agency and he lets you make choices so you can learn, because God is not going to always block the pain. I know a lot of people who ask like, oh, why does God put me through all of these situations that I feel like I can't handle? Sometimes he's going to let you walk through that path that you chose because there's a lesson on the other side. He's going to always shut doors so you can stop trying to impress people who were never meant to be in your life in the first place. But if you keep trying to open that door, he's eventually going to let you open it so you can realize why he shut it in the first place. Let that sink in. You can't be serious. I'm not letting you in. I started doing more reading. It really opened my eyes because I started realizing that as a kid, I really did love reading. Me and my friend we both loved reading, and I stopped. And I've come to think that it was mostly because of outside influences. People clown me for liking books. They'd be like, yo, reading a book. And I'd be like, you're right, reading a book. And I just gave into it and thought it was normal. But now I'm back to reading more. I mean, I'll share the book that I'm currently reading when I finish it. But the simple act of reconnecting with things that you love is important in life. It's brought me so much clarity because now other people who also read books are surrounding me more. I kind of just realized that as I'm making this video, there's people around me that like reading books, and more of those people started surrounding me now that I started reading and reading in public. All of that to say, don't let anyone define your passions for you. If you like to eat a certain food, eat it. If you like poetry, read poetry. If you like making music, make music. Do you. Don't let other people define your passions, because you will always either A, get better, or B, discover that you like it yourself. And I'm sorry this video might seem all over the place, but it really just has one core message that I'm going to share with you guys. Being alone is one of the most powerful tools for self-discovery, because when you sit down with yourself long enough, you ask the real questions to yourself. What do I value? What kind of people do I want in my life? Do I want peace or do I want chaos? There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of chaos in your life. Sometimes you have to really sit down and ask yourself, do I want more peace or do I want more chaos? Here's a challenge that I implore to you guys, right? Next time you're in a disagreement or having a conversation with somebody, this will really help you to understand if you want peace or chaos, or the type of people that you have in your life, whether they bring peace or chaos. Instead of arguing your point, just say, this is how I feel, right? For example, if you're arguing that the sky is blue, say, hey, I feel as the sky is blue. This is my opinion. And to me, the sky seems blue. See how the other person responds. If they respect your opinion, cool. If they say, hey, the sky may be blue for you, but to me it's green. I might not be able to change you, but I see that the sky is green. There's a difference to the other side if they belittle you or start to get aggressive. If they start to say, I don't know how you can see the sky is blue. The sky is green. Just look up. I'm telling you, it's green. That may seem little to you, but take that, what I just used as an example, and put it into a bigger conversation. Something about a breakup. Something about who you're texting. Something about money. At that point, you have 3 options to deal with those type of people. Speak to them more or less, cut them off completely, or keep them around and accept the chaos and or peace, whichever one they're bringing. And it's up to you which one you want to deal with. No one's going to give that answer for you, not God. That's why we have our own agency. And being alone and figuring out exactly what it is that you want helps you make that decision with more clarity. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you guys are notified of the videos that I upload. Do anything you guys can to have my non-existent videos be seen. And with that, Desaiah signing off.